Many people will tell you that younger women are often drawn to older men, and there's truth to that. Qualities like maturity, life experience, and emotional stability give older men a natural edge. But here's where things go wrong: most older men don't actually know how to use that advantage. I have repeatedly observed men in their 40s, 50s, and even 60s making the same predictable mistakes when interacting with younger women. And what happens? They sabotage their own chances. This isn't due to a lack of value, but rather a lack of knowledge about how to effectively convey it. These guys, who have so much to offer, often end up alone, frustrated, and wondering what they're doing wrong. And the truth is, when you make the wrong moves, it's not just her interest you lose, it's her respect. And that means your real strengths, your wisdom, your calm, your grounded presence, never even get the chance to shine. But here's the good news: you don't need to reinvent yourself or pretend to be someone you're not. You just need to understand where you're going off track and make a few key shifts. When you do that, everything changes, not only in how women see you, but in how you carry yourself. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 7 most common mistakes older men make with younger women. By avoiding these common mistakes, you can set yourself apart from the rest and become the confident, grounded man you were always meant to be. Let's get into the first mistake. Mistake number 1: idolizing her. Picture this: you're face to face with a younger, attractive woman. She's radiant, full of energy, and maybe even a little intimidating. For many older men, the first instinct is to freeze up. You think, I can't screw this up. She is beyond my capabilities. And that's where the problems begin. You begin to exert excessive effort by being excessively pleasant, going to great lengths to impress her, and avoiding any contentious topics. You tiptoe around her, offering polite, watered-down conversation, hoping that if you seem agreeable enough, she'll like you. But here's the twist: the more you try to make her feel comfortable by being overly cautious and deferential, the less interesting you become. Women don't fall for the man who treats them like royalty, they're drawn to the man who treats them like an equal. The real issue starts with your mindset. When you idolize her, you're not just admiring her beauty, you're elevating her above yourself. You start to believe she's some prize you don't quite deserve. That belief turns every interaction into a high-stakes performance. You overanalyze, second-guess yourself, and unknowingly project insecurity. And insecurity? That's not just unattractive, it's draining. When a woman senses that you don't see your own value, she'll subconsciously agree. By placing her on a pedestal, you lower yourself, and that imbalance kills attraction. So how do you break this pattern? Start by normalizing your interactions with younger women. Talk to women of all ages without attaching a fantasy or desired outcome to the exchange. The more you engage with women casually, the more you realize they're not magical creatures, they're just people. Flawed, funny, emotional, and human, just like you. That realization is powerful. It strips away the illusion and replaces it with grounded confidence. You stop auditioning for approval. You stop chasing. Instead, you connect authentically. And here's the truth: she's not a rare trophy to be won, she's a person who may or may not be a good fit for you. That goes both ways. When you truly embrace this mindset, the fear of losing her fades away, because you'll know your worth, and you'll understand this: there's always someone else out there who will see it too. That quiet confidence? That's your edge. Mistake number 2: messing up the age question. Imagine this: you're in the middle of a great conversation with a younger woman. The energy is right, the chemistry is flowing, and then she asks, "So, how old are you?" For a lot of older men, this is where things go sideways. They freeze. Some stammer and blurt out their age like it's a confession. Others dodge the question with a nervous laugh or a clumsy subject change. Their posture shifts, their voice falters, and just like that, the confident presence that drew her in starts to fade. Here's the real issue: it's not your age, it's your attitude toward it. When you act like your age is something to be ashamed of, you send her a loud message: this is a problem. And if you believe it's a problem, don't be surprised when she starts to think so too. This fear of the age question usually comes from internal doubt. Society tends to shame older men for being attracted to, or dating, younger women. That cultural pressure can quietly chip away at your confidence. But here's the truth, your age isn't what's holding you back. It's how you present it. So, what do you do when the age question comes up? Simple, own it. Confidence changes everything. And there are two powerful ways to respond, with playfulness or directness. Playfulness can turn a potentially awkward moment into a spark of flirtation. Try saying, "Oh, I'm way too old for you, would never survive," with a cheeky grin. Or count on your fingers and say, "Let's see. I'm around 700 months old. You?" It's light, fun, and shows you're unfazed. Direct. Look her in the eye, smile, and say, "I'm 47, then let it land." Keep it relaxed. After a short beat, shift the conversation back to something interesting. The message you're sending is clear: this is who I am, and I'm good with it. The bottom line is this: confidence reframes everything. When you're secure in who you are, your age becomes a strength, not a setback. It signals maturity, life experience, and self-assurance, all traits that are deeply attractive. So the next time someone asks, "How old are you?" don't flinch. Stand tall. Smile. Answer with confidence. Because the way you handle that moment says a lot more about you than the number ever could. Mistake number 3, leading with money. Too many older men make the mistake of thinking that their bank account is their biggest asset when it comes to attracting younger women. They assume, if she sees how successful I am, she'll be impressed. Game over. So, they lead with their wallets. This shows up in all kinds of ways: name-dropping their high-powered job, flaunting luxury cars, talking up exotic vacations, or always choosing the priciest restaurants. Some even go as far as sending money, paying bills, or buying gifts for women they barely know. Sure, this might get attention, but not the kind that leads to something real. Here's the hard truth: when you lead with money, you turn yourself into a walking ATM. Yes, financial success can be attractive, it signals ambition and stability, but if that's all you're offering, you'll only draw in women who want to use it. And those women? They're not after connection or character. They're after what they can take. If you want to avoid this trap, stop putting money at the center of your interactions. Let it speak for itself in time as part of the bigger picture of who you are. Shift the spotlight to your personality, values, and the way you think. The women who are truly worth your time don't care about what you can buy them, they care about who you are. When you present yourself as a confident, grounded man who just happens to be successful, you attract women who value depth, not just dollars. That's how you build a relationship based on mutual respect, not transactions. Money is a resource, not your identity. Don't lead with your wallet. Lead with your character, that's what makes you unforgettable. Mistake number 4, positioning yourself as a mentor. A common mistake many older men make when dealing with younger women is stepping into the role of a mentor. They think, if I can show her how much I know and guide her through life, she'll eventually realize how valuable I am. So, they offer career advice, life wisdom, and emotional support, all while secretly hoping it will turn romantic. On the surface, this might seem like a solid approach. After all, you're being helpful and showing your value, right? But here's the catch: when you put yourself in the mentor role, you unknowingly kill any romantic or sexual tension. You become someone she looks up to, not someone she imagines being with. And when you finally reveal your feelings, it feels unnatural, like a plot twist that doesn't fit the story. She didn't see it coming, and rather than being flattered, she's caught off guard and often uncomfortable. Why? Because you weren't honest with your energy. You presented yourself as a guide, not as a man with romantic intent. If you're interested in a younger woman, it's important to establish a flirty, light-hearted tone early on. Don't wait weeks or months to make your feelings known. Instead, add small moments of playfulness, subtle compliments, and emotional connection right from the start. This builds a dynamic that's both respectful and romantic. And remember, women are highly intuitive. They can feel when your actions don't match your true intentions. So don't pretend to be just a mentor if what you really want is something more. Be genuine. Show her your confident, charismatic side. Yes, bring your wisdom and experience to the table, but let her see that you're also fun, engaging, and capable of sparking real chemistry. When you stop hiding behind the wise teacher mask, attraction becomes effortless, and you avoid getting trapped in the dreaded friend zone. Mistake number 5, trying too hard to look young. One of the most common missteps older men make is overcompensating in an attempt to appear younger. Whether it's wearing clothes that scream midlife crisis, forcing trendy slang into conversations, or chasing styles that clash with their personality, the result is almost always the same: it feels fake. Younger women don't find this kind of effort attractive, quite the opposite. It signals insecurity, not confidence. Instead of seeing a mature, self-assured man, they see someone uncomfortable with his age and trying to keep up with a crowd he's clearly not part of. That disconnect is instant and undeniable. Here's the truth: trying to look or act young doesn't make you more desirable, it makes you forgettable. What does make you stand out is owning your age with style and certainty. A man who is well-groomed, dresses with intention, and carries himself with quiet confidence will always be more magnetic than someone pretending to be 25 again. Invest in a wardrobe that reflects your maturity: clean lines, great fit, timeless style. Take care of your health and fitness, not to rewind the clock, but to feel strong, energized, and at your best. And when it comes to conversation, ditch the slang and trend chasing. Speak with the insight and clarity that only experience can bring. That's your edge. Younger women are drawn to older men because of their confidence, wisdom, and emotional maturity. When you try to act younger, you erase the very things that make you attractive in the first place. Stop playing a game you were never meant to win. Instead, lean into who you truly are. That's where your real power lies. Mistake number 6, overloading the conversation with your achievements. One common misstep older men make when talking to younger women is turning the conversation into a running list of their accomplishments. They think that showcasing their career milestones, degrees, or past glories will automatically make them more attractive or respected. And sure, being proud of your journey is a good thing. But when the conversation becomes all about you, it stops being a conversation at all. Here's the problem: when you dominate the exchange with stories about your success, it unintentionally pushes her into the background. Instead of forming a genuine connection, you come off as self-centered, or worse, as if you're trying to sell yourself. And that can be a turn-off. Younger women aren't sitting there hoping to hear your life resume. They're looking for something real, someone who listens, understands, and makes them feel seen and heard. Attraction isn't sparked by status, it's built through emotional connection, presence, and shared moments. So what's the better move? Keep your accomplishments in your back pocket. Let them surface naturally, through stories, humor, or situations where they genuinely fit. Or even better, let her discover those things about you over time. Focus instead on being fully present, asking thoughtful questions, and showing a sincere interest in who she is. A man who's truly confident doesn't feel the need to constantly prove his worth, he lets his presence do the talking. When you shift the spotlight off yourself and onto the shared moment, that's when a real connection starts to form. Mistake number 7, neglecting your physical presence. One of the most common and costly mistakes older men make is letting their physical presence slip. As the years pass, it's easy to lean on your accomplishments, character, or wisdom, thinking that's all that matters. But here's the hard truth: attraction isn't just about who you are, it's also about how you carry yourself. You don't need six-pack abs or a model's jawline. But when you stop taking care of your appearance, it sends a loud message: you've stopped trying. And that can overshadow everything else you bring to the table. Sloppy grooming, outdated clothing, or an unhealthy lifestyle can clash with the confidence and strength you're supposed to represent. Remember, younger women are often drawn to older men because of that aura of stability and groundedness. But if your appearance doesn't reflect that energy, there's a disconnect. Here's the good news: you don't need a full makeover. Just start with the fundamentals. Keep your grooming on point, trim your facial hair, keep your nails clean, and get a haircut that suits your face and style today, not 20 years ago. Upgrade your wardrobe. Focus on timeless, well-fitted pieces. Classic always beats trendy. And most importantly, take care of your health. Regular exercise, clean eating, and quality sleep don't just improve your looks, they boost your confidence and vitality. Your physical presence is a visual expression of your inner world. When you respect yourself enough to invest in your body and appearance, others notice and respect you in return. Let's wrap up with a quick recap of the 7 biggest mistakes older men make when dating younger women. Idolizing her, putting her on a pedestal. Getting awkward about the age gap. Leading with money instead of personality. Becoming a mentor instead of a partner. Trying too hard to look young. Overloading the conversation with your resume. Neglecting your physical presence. At the heart of all these mistakes is one simple truth: not owning who you are. Younger women aren't chasing perfection. They're drawn to men who are comfortable in their own skin, who don't need to prove anything, and who live with purpose and authenticity. At Stoic Insights, we believe attraction starts with self-mastery. Fixing these habits isn't just about dating better, it's about living better. So if this message struck a chord, take a moment. Reflect. Where can you improve? What can you start doing today to become the best version of yourself? Because becoming better isn't a destination, it's a journey. Thanks for watching.